November 1st, 2023 Architecture Review Committee meeting at 4:29. Roll call.
Committee Member Haas,
Present.
Committee Member Burchard,
Present.
Committee Member Kiefer,
Present.
Committee Member Rivera.
Present.
Let the record show that all ARC members are present.
Confirmation of the agenda.
There are no changes to the agenda.
Excellent. Approval of minutes.
So we did prepare minutes for this, this meeting. This is our first set of minutes, so if everyone had an opportunity to read them, you can make a motion to approve, or if there's any edits, you can let us know at this time as well.
Okay. Everyone read it?
Yeah.
Yet?
Yeah.
Okay, read.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll call.
Committee Member Haas,
Approved.
Committee Member Burchard,
Approved.
Committee Member Kiefer,
Approved.
Committee Member Rivera.
Approved. So are we doing voice roll call, or are we doing the,
You could do the vote, so if you want to do the vote, you
Okay.
can do the vote, yeah.
okay, very good.
So whoever made the motion can vote first,
The-
and then the second, and then the remaining committee members.
Never mind. You got to train us every time.
So let the record show that the motion to approve the minutes passes 4-0.
Okay. Public comment.
So the next item we have is election of officers.
We're not doing public comments?
After.
That's after.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'd like to suggest, can we move the election afterwards so that we can get our applicants moving forward?
So the end of the meeting?
Yeah, rather than have them sit through.
Okay, we may.
Okay.
We just would need a motion to,
Okay, is there a motion?
I make a motion that we move the election of officers to the item just before committee member comments.
Second.
Okay. Roll call?
so I'll do a verbal roll call for this one.
Sure.
Committee Member Haas,
Approved.
Committee Member Burchard,
Approved.
Committee Member Kiefer,
Approved.
Committee Member Rivera.
Approve.
Let the record show that a motion was made by Committee Member Burchard, a second by Committee Member Kiefer, and the motion passes 4-0.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we'll now move on to public comments. During this part of the meeting, the public is invited to address the Architecture Review Committee on any matter not on the agenda. If you wish to speak on an agenda item, please wait to be recognized under that item. Except for special circumstances, the Brown Act prohibits the Architecture Review Committee or staff from responding or taking action on any comments made by the public unless it pertains to an item that appears on the agenda. All speakers should give their name and city of residence and limit their remarks to 3 minutes. Is there anyone here who would like to make any public comments?
I did not receive any speaker slips.
Okay, very good. We will
And then
okay. we will
before
now-
we continue, I did want to make an announcement that we will have to end the meeting at 5:30 since there's a Planning Commission meeting tonight. So I just wanted to make the announcement.
Okay, thank you. We will close public comments. Okay, new business. Item number 1, conditional use permit number 22-004, review of the site plan, architecture, and landscape for a new unmanned wireless telecommunications facility.
Good afternoon. My name is Melody Arechiga, and I'll be presenting this item. This is for a new telecommunications facility, which is proposed at the Northgate Church property. The location of the facility will be in the area indicated by the yellow star. Here's just a closer look. The area where the applicant is proposing the facility is an existing planter area for the Northgate Church, and this is a part of the property of the church as well. To the east of the property are some single-family residential homes, and then to the west is just some commercial, so there's the Walgreens store that's located there. Here's just a ground view of the site. So if we look straight to the east, the facility will be located approximately here, but indicated by the arrow. And then just another look towards the east as well, just a little bit closer. So as mentioned earlier, it is going to be located in this planter area here. So here's just this overall site plan provided by the applicant. As with other facilities, they are proposing a ground equipment enclosure and then a tower, as well as surrounding landscaping. So this site, here you'll see the equipment enclosure. So it will have a generator and then some other ground equipment. The antenna structure will be located just to the west of that. Within the tower facility, they would have two antenna rad spaces. So they will have one at 38 feet and then another at 46 feet. The first will have approximately 6 antennas and some ancillary equipment. And then the other one will have 6 antennas as well. So for a total of 12 antennas for the facility. So here's the proposed antenna structure. The applicant is proposing something a little different than we typically see. So typically you'll see monopalms, or maybe they're inside of a building. Here the applicant is proposing a 50-foot structure. They originally did propose a 65-foot, but they did reduce it to 50. And then, as mentioned earlier, to the east, there will be an enclosure adjacent to it with a trellis cover, which will match the existing trash enclosure on the site. And here's just another view of the southwest and southeast. It will carry a beige color scheme all throughout the structure. And then, as noted earlier, the applicant is proposing to soften the site with some shrubs and additional trees that they will be adding. The proposed tree they're proposing is acacia trees. And then the applicant did prepare this photo simulation. So as noted, it is a 50-foot high structure. This is approximately what you would see if you were standing or driving through Date Palm Drive. As mentioned in the landscape plan, they are proposing these trees to soften it a bit, as well as some shrubs on the ground level to soften the enclosure. With this, I conclude my presentation, and I'm available for any questions.
One quick question. So this kind of neutral beige color, this is proposed by the applicant?
Correct.
Okay. Was there consideration for any other color or colors?
I can let the applicant come up and present more of their proposal. They did indicate that they worked with the church to come up with this concept.
Okay. It's just that it's so different, and my first impression is it looks like a blank canvas waiting to be
Graffitied?
well, not graffiti, but yeah, something interesting, something that connects it with the church maybe, or with the city of Cathedral City.
And I can allow the applicant to speak more on it, yeah.
Okay.
Do we have a picture of the church too, just again?
A rendering, including the church.
Yeah.
So let me pull up a map so we could see a better view.
But it's the same color as the church.
Melody,
It's
could you go back to that slide just a second? You were just there. So is it fair, kind of guesstimating that slide that you just had up,
This one or?
That the yellow arrow is approximately the height of the tower compared to the church?
No,
Is that taller?
it's just relative where the location is. It's not representing the height.
Oh, yeah, no, I thought it was kind of random, but I thought that maybe the chance that that's kind of,
No, I want to say the church is probably 26 to 30 feet.
About
This
50.
would be about 50 feet.
okay.
So it would be a bit almost twice the size of that
It's
building.
going to stand up.
I'm trying to visualize 50 feet.
Look at the line.
Is it as tall as the ceiling in here?
I don't know, John. Guesstimate.
Plus, tiny bit plus.
It's massive.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's really going to stand out.
What's the vacant lot adjacent to the church zoned?
To the south
Yeah.
of that, I believe it's PCC, correct? It's commercial zoning.
Okay. That's a little better then. Yeah, I don't think it's too close to Date Palm or any other,
No, it
Main
is set back
artery.
quite a bit.
From the inside of the building.
especially if that's not going to be zoned residential. I don't think the height's too big of an issue. I do agree that the blank canvas is a little odd. Kind of looks like just a monolith of some sort.
I've just seen so many of these applications, and to tell you the truth, I've never seen anything like this, and it's kind of I'm sick of monopalms, to be honest.
Agreed.
I think I want to see this happen. I'd like to see this happen, and,
Yeah,
but I think there's an opportunity to do something that would enhance the area.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you've ever driven on the fast track, but all their cell towers look like contemporary sculptures. And similar to that, but they kind of add a little more facade to it and break it up a bit.
Well, especially the church with the variations of color.
It'll be sitting on the opposite side of the church, correct, from Date Palm?
Yeah, so
To see
if we're here, for example, it would be behind the church, or like just to the east of the church around this area
So
here.
you really wouldn't see it from Date Palm, you'd see it from 30th. Is that 30th?
You see it from 30th, and then as you're driving north on Date Palm, you would see it there
Yeah,
as well.
once you get past the church.
Yeah, because it would be in this area here.
Okay,
But
okay.
it's still 20 feet higher, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, approximately.
If there's a way to make it really artistic and sculptural and mirror the building somehow or complement the building, I think that'd be phenomenal. I agree with what John's saying.
So I'm hearing sculptural, but I think limiting it to paint.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't want to put an undue
No.
burden on the applicant,
no construction, just paint.
just paint.
Make it cool.
But I also get that you don't want it to stick out like a sore thumb, because it is kind of out there separate on its own. So instead of being like a monolith that kind of just blends into the landscape, it's just like a bam. So, I don't know.
Let's see it one more time. What the white middle, is that open or?
That's open, yeah. So the only solid areas will be these areas here that you see in the beige. And it's not transferring quite as well as.
And that material's metal?
It's, the applicant actually just gave me a sample, so I
Can
can
we
go ahead
see?
and
Yeah.
provide it.
We also have to keep in mind those houses are right there. If they have to stare at something that's not super neutral, I don't know if that'd be too good.
I wouldn't want to turn it into a Desert X.
Exactly.
It kind of is looking like it.
We were talking something subtle, but something interesting.
Yeah.
More than just beige, I think.
Yeah.
Pick one of the church colors that's
Yeah.
complementary.
We'll like use several of the church colors.
Yeah, I know,
on
it could be fun, the legs different and.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay.
It's just like a foam.
Got a core.
That's better, right?
This isn't representative of the color, is it? Is it? That's it?
Well, it looks more like
Oh, yeah.
desert and
Probably
blend
is.
in with the mountains than,
Yeah.
because it was looking peachy kind of, or, something.
And I'm going to pass around just some additional copies of the photo simulations that the applicant provided.
Doesn't seem so big when you look at it like that. I'm not talking spicing it up, I'm just talking about,
As much as possible
disappear.
the landscape.
Color blend.
And then I did want to clarify, I know there was a question about the zoning just south of it. So it is zoned PCC, Planned Community Commercial, but we do currently have an application to change that zoning and do a multifamily project there
That's to the east of the site,
to the south
on Date Palm, okay.
on Date Palm. So just to the south of this, that's, like I mentioned, zone PCC, but we do have an application for a multifamily project there.
Nice. We need it.
can we go ahead and, let's open up public comment so that the applicant can have a,
Dialogue.
add to the conversation?
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Chris Doheny. I work for a company is SmartLink Group, and we're here on behalf of AT&T to discuss the project and answer any questions you have.
So you kind of walked into this, but I'm assuming that you walked into this a little bit, but you've heard everything that has been said so far.
Yes.
What are your immediate thoughts about?
Early on in the project, they did discuss different types of design for the facility, one being a monopump type facility, which you're familiar with. There's different viewpoints on that, but they decided between the church and the discussion, they decided not to go with a palm tree because the wear and tear over time and years. The new ones being built now are much better than the ones in the past, but they tend to, understanding that area, we understand is a high wind zone. Mm-hmm. So with the high winds, we felt like it would be, the wear and tear on the palm tree would not benefit long-term visual impact of it. So that's why we decided to go with the tower. Originally proposed a 65-foot tower, reduced that down to 50 feet. As Melody mentioned, we have two different rad levels of the antenna arrays. And one of the benefits of that is that the tower itself is not as wide. If we kept all the antennas at a single level, the tower itself would be probably 3 feet square wide, much larger. So have a bigger impact. So that's why we have 2 levels rad center. And as you did talk about the texture and the color. We consulted with the church and did get the tones and different variations that they have and tried to match that as much as possible. And we will move forward with that to match the church colors.
So let me throw this out. As a very simple starting use of color, if you took one of each color, if you took 3 colors from the church itself, a light, middle, and a darker color, and then applied a whole color to, this thing is 3-sided, more or less.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be one idea.
I don't know. I'm not into it. I think it should literally just blend in. I do, because once you have those trees, they're going to grow up. You're going to have the multifamily development that's proposed. You have the other residential over here. You don't want to be looking at anything. So I think blending in is probably going to be the best bet.
What's the width again? What? What's the dimensions on that?
The triangles, it's 10 feet each angle, separated by 3 feet in between. The corners being 3 feet and then 10 feet width.
Oh. I could get on board with one color, but I don't like that color. It's too light, and it's going to
Yeah.
get lighter.
And I do think the photo simulations came across a little bit lighter than intended, but we have the specific code of the paint color that was provided by the church and try to match that.
Okay. Because it will get lighter over time.
Yeah.
They used a lot of natural materials on the church, so that's why they haven't faded as much as they could.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And we're flexible, obviously, with providing the right color and texture to match the church.
I know.
On a
Can we see the
technical-
church one more time, just colors, just really quick, so we know which?
The date palm view is the best.
That is. Yeah. Better than what we saw. Yeah, it's just so, I mean, I'm assuming it's the bulk of the building? No? It's the left side?
The
That's
le-
the color you picked, the left?
The far
It
left?
would
or
be,
it looks,
my best guess, it looks closer to the middle.
yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
It's that middle color, the super light one.
That looks more cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just
more of a-
doesn't translate as well to the
But it's
screen,
this-
but it's about
it's this
that
one.
color.
So that's kind of your eye goes to center, so this would match the backside. I don't know, it's,
Pick a color.
One, the finish is called dry bit.
Microphone?
Oh, I'm sorry. The actual texture finish is called a dry bit type texture, and then the color, the Sherwin-Williams faint coral.
Yeah.
Not to be facetious, but I mean, like, when you say you want it to disappear, I hope you're not thinking like Despicable Me, where they painted the pyramid with the blue sky and clouds.
I just meant something that legitimately matches the surroundings.
The dirt,
Like
the
the
sand.
sand
Well, yeah, I
color,
mean, this is
mountains
kind of a
color.
sand in-
Yeah, so this is,
And it really also
Looks
depends
fine
on
to
the
me.
time of day and the angle of
Yeah.
the sun, and there's a whole bunch of variables. We're not going to make it disappear completely.
no, I'm, obviously. It's
think-
50 feet high, it's not gonna disappear. I just mean to make it, when you look at it, you're not drawn to it. Because it's not that type of structure.
what's going to keep all the birds off that middle platform? Looks like a perfect place,
Pigeon
yeah.
parking
Make a mess.
lot.
That's-
Yeah, they do try to keep it open, so you do have some ventilation coming from the bottom, but they could
You're going to need some pigeon proofing.
provide some metal mesh screening,
Yeah, you're
the
going to
top
need
and
it.
the bottom, to,
They're going to go high-rise
assist with
living.
that.
It's far enough away, I think you could go with the spikes that
I know,
that no one's going to see it. Nope, I'm not uncomfortable with,
Yeah, no, I mean,
I don't want to stop it.
for what it is and the purpose, I think it's fine color.
As neutral to the environment as possible.
Yeah.
And that matches the church. I mean, if that's their color.
Have fun.
okay?
Anything else, or?
No more questions.
I have no more questions.
We're still in public comments. Was there anyone else that wanted to speak on this agenda item?
No.
Okay, we'll go ahead and close public
Thank you.
comments. Thank you.
I make a motion. I make a motion to approve?
Before we do that, so there's no changes, if I understood correctly?
No.
Okay.
Where's the thingy?
It's interesting, but
There we go. Thank you.
I'll second it.
Boom, boom. Yay.
All right, let the record show that the motion was made by Committee Member Burchard, a second by Committee Member Haas, and the motion passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for not bringing the monopalm to the desert.
Yeah,
Or
it is
something else
refreshing.
ugly.
Okay, moving on to item number 2, conditional use permit number 23-003, review of the site plan, architecture, and landscape for a new 1,953 square foot cannabis business dispensary within an existing building.
Good afternoon. My name is Melody Adechiga, and I will be presenting this item as well. So as mentioned, this is for a new cannabis dispensary. The applicant is proposing to locate his business just west or just east of the Glory to God Church, across from to the south of East Palm Canyon. So here's just a closer look. The outline in red is the approximate property limits. There is an existing building there, as well as some parking, trash enclosure, and other existing improvements. So here are just some existing and current photos of the property. So it is currently in a dark gray and light gray color scheme. So as noted earlier, there are some landscaping as well as some parking areas. The applicant is proposing some changes, which I will continue to discuss. And then just the rear of the property. And then I just wanted to make note that this is not a part of the property itself, or the asphalt portion. So here's just the existing site plan. So they do have an ADA parking stall, approximately 5 parking spaces, one which doubles as a loading area. The applicant is proposing to slightly change the site by relocating the ADA path of travel and the ADA parking stall. They'll also have additional parking stalls for a total of 8. One of them will double up as a loading area. They will also be changing the trash enclosure and updating it to city standard. And then they will be doing some updates as well to the public right away. So before continuing to that slide, the applicant is requesting a waiver from the 50% shading requirement. So this requirement is part of our design guidelines, which is the document that we use to evaluate the projects. The direction comes from the municipal code, which all CUPs are required to be reviewed as a design review would be processed. So this includes using the design guidelines as a tool to evaluate not only these type of projects, but all construction entitlement projects that come through the city. So for this one, we do have or are requesting some direction from the ARC, and the applicant will also have an opportunity to present why they're requesting that waiver. But that is something that the applicant indicated. So this is just the current floor plan. So it was a tile store before. So currently they have a showroom and office area. They will change the plan to now their dispensary, which will have a display and sales counter. They'll also have office and a receiving area, as well as other ancillary space. The applicant has also indicated that he would like a waiver from the air curtains. Those were established conditions of approval that were in place from previous planning commissions. So that's another request that the applicant is requesting as well. So the applicant is proposing to maintain the building. However, they are proposing some changes, including painting the building in a lighter green at the top here. So on the top, you'll see the existing elevation. At the bottom, you'll see the proposed. And then they will also paint the trims in that color. And then a lighter off-white color for the base. And then this is just an approximate location for their signage, which is for reference only, as they will be required to have a separate sign permit later on. And then just continuing to the north, again, they'll paint the building all throughout. And then I'll move on to the west and east elevation. So again, they're painting it in these colors here. So the top color will be, as mentioned, this light green, and then the base will be an off-white color. The applicant doesn't propose any other changes or alterations to the building. They also did open up the windows, which will create a more retail-friendly space for the site. So here are just some of the lighting that the applicant proposes. So they are having some light standards in the parking area, and then some lighting fixtures that will be along the building. They'll also be adding this rope lighting, but it will be concealed under the soffit of the building. So here's just the landscape plan that the applicant is proposing. So they are proposing some shrubs as well as some trees within the right-of-way, which include acacias, and then they will be adding a decomposed granite ground cover. And then with this, I conclude my presentation, and I'm available for any questions.
A quick question on that lighting, that rope lighting. So you said that's concealed in the soffit, so you're not going to see that from the...
Correct. Yeah, you won't.
Just indirect lighting.
Correct.
Okay.
Can we see the front of the building again? I just want to, so there's one tree? Is that what they don't want the shade? They're keeping it low for the visual to see the store, basically.
And I think that's just a part of the rendering, but the applicant is here to clarify. Just because there is, in the landscape plan, there are no proposed trees in that location.
Any other questions for staff?
What was the other waiver?
Yeah, the second one, I didn't understand that.
So so typically all cannabis facilities do require air curtains at all entryways or exits. They are proposing that they do not want to proceed with following those conditions.
And is a reason given?
He stated that it just doesn't do much to contain the
The odor?
the odor, and I'll allow him to better explain why he would be requesting that waiver.
I don't have any other questions of staff.
Yeah, no more questions.
Of staff.
I'd like to go ahead and open public comments so that the applicant can answer questions. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ARC members. My name is Chris McFadden, architect at 741245 St. Charles Place, Palm Desert. This is John. He's the owner, and he'll speak and give you his address and stuff when he's ready. Okay, so this is a very interesting project. I met John out there this last February, and he had to convince me to get involved with the project and walk the project, and it's very constrained. And as you know, constraints become economic impacts. They adjust the values of property and everything. The site is so tight. There's just a 24-foot driveway, 18, 19-foot parking space, and 5 foot, and you're into the building doors. That's all there is. We're getting hit with the third right-of-way increase on this project. They're taking 23.7% of the property to widen Highway 111.
Ooh.
Okay, it's just going to affect the planter space out in front, essentially. We can hold our curb line at the driveway. There's no room to put in additional shade trees and pockets and, all the techniques that we know to gain that. Furthermore, because we have no driveway access, no direct driveway access to Highway 111, that's an impediment to the property, okay? We have deeded access from each adjacent property. So you either have to know where you're going before, or take a look and swing in after to get in there. So we want the front of the building opened up, as much as we can for people who are driving by after the street improvements are done. So we haven't been at this. We didn't just arrive at this haphazard. This is, I met John in February. We submitted our first submittal in May, worked through some stuff with the city. We had to resubmit July 11th, and then again, back and forth. And we submitted August 17th. It took us this long to get to architectural review. August 17th from those drawings. That was our first meeting that we had with John Corolla from Public Works. And then we requested to get information, and we just got the plan a week and a half ago together for the SCE interface with the undergrounding of the overhead poles and everything. And so we revised the site plan and got it into you, and I know that Melody's made a copy and probably included it in your packets. So my concern with the property is also too, is it's encumbered. The building was built in 1966, okay? And we get new building codes, late, the last 25 years or so, we get a new building code every 3 years, okay? After about 5 building codes, it's time to raise them with the building code changes. So we do not want to touch that building, okay? It was originally done as a gas station, okay, with a couple of service lubes on it, and it won't meet code, whatever we tear into that thing. So we want to keep it a tenant improvement, just a TI, just a facade enhancement. Our color scheme matches, complements the Cree house up the hill. It blends in very well with Glory to God next door. We've taken a look at all of that. In regards to the 2 variances that we're asking for, is regarding the shade structure. And actually, when you delve into the guideline, the guideline reads on page 43 in the code, it says 50% of all car spaces should be shaded by trees or carport trellis structures. Don't say that it's required. Should means that, if it's at all feasible to do that, sure, we would consider it. It was considered. And it would block the view, which would be another constraint to this already constrained site. So we like to request not doing that. I've been involved in the cannabis business since it got started here, and I know the smell issues that we have with the whole thing, but air curtains are not a air control device, okay? They're designed for restaurants, for flies, not to fly through there. It came from the health and safety codes through, the health department. Then we don't have any problem putting an air curtain on the back door. It's not a problem. The front door is because that's the only point of entrance there. Most gals, a lot of people don't like that fan blowing down on them at 200 CFM on top of them when they walk in and out. It makes a lot of noise. It doesn't do anything for the air quality. But what does do well for the air quality is because this is just a dispensary. There's no prep, there's no packaging, everything comes pre-packaged. There is no odor. But we are willing to put in 2 interior air cleaners that we've submitted all the documentation on that, and they do provide a little bit of filtration for anything on the interior of the building, but nothing's consumed on property. Everything's wrapped. It arrives wrapped. So there should be no odor issues as compared with a grow. So that's with the air curtain. The other thing is in regards to the carport waiver is if you, this has been on the code since 1989 is when this went into effect, okay? And so I took a shot over there from Perez Road on the south side, on the north side of the highway. All those buildings are facing south. And from the store right next door to the Circle K that was just put there not too long ago, the next building over, it's had a remodel done. It's very well, it has a lot of site constraints. Okay, again, probably a 24-foot driveway, 18-foot parking spot, 5 foot to the building. That's how, there's 3 or 4 of them along there. And none of those have carports on them, and they all face south. And in the submittal package that we gave you on the photo sheet, there's 3 photos there that show that this building, because it faces north, it has 18-foot plus shades from the building going out into the parking lot out there. So it's really already shaded by the building. what did you say, 3 minutes to 5 minutes is the average stay for a?
It's a little less than 2.5 minutes right
Okay, well, less than 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
People just come in.
now. Customers
go.
are in and out. There's not a whole lot of.
So for those reasons, obviously, if we have to do it, if it is required, we'll take that under consideration, but we think it's, this building doesn't really warrant this, and, so that's kind of the issues there. I think that's all I have as far as presentation goes. Melody did a fine job with the balance of the building. I think the rendering shows up really well what the building's going to look like. And the landscaping out front is going to change because John wanted a 8-foot wide curb adjacent sidewalk. And so we're not going to have that circuitous sidewalk that's running down there. Now, that's all going to come out. It's going to get shrunk down. And so we're going to come back with another complete landscape plan for that area. But again, we'd like to keep our trees, and that's where we have trees off on each side of that planter. So we'd like to keep our trees on the side and the building open to the view if it's available. We're going to do that in, clear glass, on side. It faces north, we can get that to work just fine. So, any questions, comments, concerns?
This is not the first facility for Desert Kush, is it not?
It is not.
How many facilities?
I've got one location currently. This would be
One other
location
one?
number 2.
Okay. Good marketing, though, because I know your name.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, could you do your introduction, your name and?
Yeah, my name's John Ramastella. I'm the owner of Desert Kush.
And your place of residence? I'm
My
sorry,
place of
but it's-
residence is 74397 Zeppelin Drive, Palm Desert.
Yeah, just which city?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay,
That was
now you're good to go.
Okay. Any other questions?
Can we see it one more time, the front, just get a visual again one more time?
Yeah, the rendering? So the plant area is going to be shrunk down?
Just towards the south.
Okay,
So because as the highway gets wider.
yeah.
So it'll be the same width. It'll just be a little bit narrower. And I have the current site plan right here with me.
And the lighting in front on the plants, what do you have in the landscape?
Any landscape lighting?
Yeah, yes. There will be landscape lighting out there. We're waiting to see, we have to coordinate with the yet-to-be-done undergrounding there, and that's going to happen. I guess it's scheduled for next year. And so we're just going to post a bond, I think, or some money against those improvements. And we're not going to put any of these improvements in. There's no sense putting in lighting, irrigation, landscaping, only to have it all dug up, tossed in a trash can when they redo this. And Public Works in the city seems to be receptive to that.
I do have one question. So in one of the slides, there was a hint of a security shutter?
Yes.
Is
Oh,
that-
very good.
Is that just that one window, or is it?
No, all of those windows will have security shutters on them, and they will be closed at night.
There'll be the retractable and Enviro blinds.
But closed when the business is closed?
Yes.
Yep, correct.
Okay, because only when you're closed.
Yep, when business is closed, the blinds will be shut. When business is open, the blinds will be open.
And what
And-
color is that? White or,
Well, we have them shown in this green color.
Oh, okay.
no, the blinds when they're
The
shut?
blinds, the shutters.
Oh, they will?
The Enviro blinds, they can tint them to be in this, and this color is a cannabis leaf color.
Makes sense.
Cool.
It's kind of an industry standard.
Yeah, makes
Right.
sense.
And then that concealed light runs the entire length of the frontage to give that a nice glow at night.
So I will say that I've seen 50, 60 applications over the past few years. I think this is the only one that has all this open glass.
Yeah.
That's huge. That is,
It's the use. This is probably the last best use for this building. Yes, I'm aware of all the failures that came through for all the different projects on this parcel, but that's exemplary of the constraints on the site.
Yeah.
Well, if memory serves me correctly, I think someone proposed a 3-room motel here.
That's it.
It was, yeah, there was more than 3, and they were considering putting a pool in. They didn't know where to put it.
Yeah, so, but that wasn't financially, it wasn't
No.
feasible, you know. It
I
comes down to.
I like the clear glass.
And
Yeah,
and
I
the-
think it makes it look less seedy. It makes it look like inviting.
Yeah.
It's a nice look.
And that's been something that's been kind of recently accepted by different municipalities.
Right.
Before, they wanted no exposure to any inventory on the inside, and now, as long as you can't directly see what's inside the packaging, which it's very tough to see because it's all packaged, then they're okay with having the windows open without the frost, without the tint, just to kind of make it a little more welcoming.
Yeah, you don't have to have the security vestibule anymore, you know, where you walk into an enclosed space with double set of doors.
Yeah, all the
Yeah.
rooms don't have to be compartmentalized anymore. It's more of an open kind of floor plan now.
Okay.
Cool.
I like it all. I'm fine with the variances. They all make sense.
Okay,
So-
thank you.
Any other questions for the applicant? Okay.
No.
Thank you.
No,
Thank you, guys.
good use of space.
Thank you,
Definitely.
gentlemen.
Good job.
While we're still in public comments, anyone in the audience who wants to speak on this application? Seeing as there are none, we will close public comments. Okay.
Make a motion.
So, but we're only voting on the building, not the landscaping, since that's changing, right?
So this is it is their interim landscaping, their interim landscaping plan.
So
So
it'll be
you-
similar.
Yeah.
I would,
Could you,
go ahead.
It will be rearranged. The city is allowing us to, and we can mound this just a little bit now because these were retention basins, which is the darker area that was showing there, existing retention basins. As you can see up there, on this side of the sidewalk, those were down about 1.5 feet.
Oh, okay.
And the city is allowing us to pick up our water and go curb face through with drains out to the street.
Oh, right on. Cool.
Makes sense.
Awesome.
Okay, so
Thank you.
it'll be that, but rearranged, and Melody's correct. There's not a tree up next to the building. We just like to leave that as a, desert scape planter and put the tree off right and off left, because again, the view is critical without that direct driveway connection to the highway.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Okay, so we'll reclose public comments. I do have one comment. So we are Architectural Review Committee. We're mandated to review architectural building landscape
Correct.
only. I feel that it is appropriate to move the air curtain to the Planning Commission, not us.
okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
We just needed to know some direction because it's the first time we've had this situation, so we just wanted some direction so we can move it ahead to the planning commission to
I think it's a
determine.
reasonable request.
Those are my-
But I just don't, it's not for us. That's not
Yeah,
us.
and then for the shading requirement, I heard an agreeance to that variance. Is that all members or is there any other? Just so that when we do our
The
staff
logic
report.
is sound. The logic is
Yeah,
sound,
it
and
makes-
it
makes
makes
complete
sense financially,
There's-
business-wise, so.
As you mentioned, it's going to be quick. It's not a consumption lounge, so it's,
Boom, boom.
Okay, so we'll work with the applicant to submit a variance application, and then we'll proceed to,
Okay.
with your recommendation,
Okay.
if you do the recommendation to assist him.
so is there a motion?
Click the button, one of them.
Where's it at? Mine says canceled. Oh. I'll make a motion to approve.
Click the button.
Yeah, sorry.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay, so let the record show that the motion was made by Committee Member Haas, second by Committee Member Burchard, and passes 4-0.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Whoop, whoop. I love the rendering of the daddy with the kid. Did you see that on the left side of the? It's like, oh, isn't that cute? Daddy's coming out of the pot store with his kid.
Okay, so there was, we had moved the election to, was that before or after?
Immediately after, so just before committee member comments.
So it was moved to immediately after the items on the agenda.
Okay. Okay, so let's open that up. Is there any interest taking the chair?
Absolutely not.
John,
Come on, Tanner, I know you want it.
No,
I know, you want to arm wrestle, you too?
Flip a coin,
you're much more fluid.
You want to?
flip a coin, that's fine.
Okay. I'm okay doing it, I don't mind, but if
Why don't I do chair, you do vice chair?
I can do that.
Okay.
Okay?
You want to make a nomination?
So do we do it, on just say,
So you would, so there would be a motion to nominate someone, and then you would vote on that nomination, and if it passes,
So
they
one
would
of you two
become
would
the
have to
new.
make the
so we
nomination.
make one and then the
In a
second?
second, and then we would do a roll call vote.
Okay,
Okay.
so what she said.
So I move to approve Stefan for chair of the ARC committee.
And I'll second that, committee member Burchard as the chair.
Do we have
The
to
ARC
abstain
committee.
since we're,
You-
No?
You can vote.
okay.
Vote for yourself. Be shameless.
All right, so I will do a roll call vote
I
for
do
this.
all the time.
So committee member Haas,
What-
Say
Again,
yes.
approved? Yeah.
and then committee member Burchard,
Approved.
and then committee member Kiefer,
Approved.
committee member Rivera.
Approved.
Let the motion show, the motion was made by committee member Kiefer, second by committee member Haas to nominate committee member Burchard as chair of the ARC, and the motion passes 4-0.
Excellent.
And now, for the vice chair.
Yeah.
I make a motion to nominate John to vice chair.
Second.
Okay, so I will do a roll call vote for this as well. Committee member Haas,
Approved?
committee member Burchard,
Approved.
committee member Kiefer,
Approved.
committee member Rivera.
Approved.
Let the record show that the motion was made by committee member Burchard and second by committee member Kiefer for committee member Rivera to become the vice chair of the ARC.
Excellent. Okay, cool. All right. Committee member comments.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Another leadership position. Woo-hoo. No, my only comment is that last one, the rendering with the little dad and the kid coming out of the store. I thought that was interesting choice of little figures. I was like, oh, okay.
Do we have an update on the mall, what's happening there with it fenced off and moving the dirt and stuff?
I know they submitted some TIs for some of the businesses that are there, but I don't know if we have any further updates on.
Mall.
Yeah.
I saw, there's like 5 businesses that have latched on.
5 have committed?
I saw
Starbucks?
Farm
Yeah,
Voice,
Star-
Chipotle,
What do you mean,
AT&T.
the new one? They fenced that off finally?
Yeah, they're,
Oh, I haven't driven by there, so I haven't seen the fence.
Circle K. There's like 4 or 5 spots left. I just saw it on LoopNet.
Well, that's exciting.
yeah, no, it's nice to, cool.
Okay, we're running out of time, so staff
Oh, my
comments?
goodness.
No staff comments.
Okay. In that case, is there a motion to adjourn?
We don't have enough time for gossip, so yeah, let's make a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call?
Committee member Haas,
Approved.
committee member Burchard,
Approved.
committee member Kiefer,
Approved.
committee member Rivera.
Approve. Okay,
The meeting is adjourned at 5:24 PM.
excellent. You got time to spare.
Good job, John.